Welcome to video number 5, which is called What is the right way or what is the good way to use AI? The good way to use AI is to learn critical thinking and basic facts first and then improve it with AI. The more you know yourself of facts and critical thinking, the better your thinking and your work becomes with AI's help. But the less you know yourself, the less benefit you get from AI. Therefore, it's smart to have little or nothing of AI help in the beginning when you need to learn to read and write and think, and then you can use AI more and more as you know more yourself. When you write, there's a thought process unfolding in which you figure out, what do I actually think about this issue? And so in that way, you could say writing is both thinking and a way of forming yourself. Your thoughts might seem clear in your head, but when you have to put them down on paper and systematize your thoughts, you realize that they weren't that clear after all. It's very common then to get new ideas along the way. If you just have AI write for you, then AI will also shape to a large extent who you are, whereas you need to go through the writing process in order to find out who you are. Some ask, well, should we learn the old way, the old-fashioned way, or should we learn to use this new tool that AI is? And my answer is that, well, we should learn to use the new tool, but the way to do that in a good way is by learning it the old-fashioned way first. Not everyone agrees, of course, and they say, well, when we got calculators, there was no point in being good anymore at calculating in your head, and that's true, but you still need a basic understanding of addition, subtraction, etc., in order to use a calculator well, and not just be fooled by someone giving you a number and say, well, the calculator said it. So the more math you know, the more you can use the calculator also in a helpful and good way. Maybe you hear other people saying other things and giving different advice than what I do here, and that's how the world is. People disagree. So what you must do then is, well, listen to the reason that I give to explain my view, and then look at the reasons that other gives to explain their view, and then you must learn what makes reasons good, critical thinking, and you can figure out then what is best justified as true. Reality and truth is the final judge, because I can be wrong, and you can be wrong, and everyone can be wrong. And that's why critical thinking is the best tool that we all have to figure out what is true. Basic argumentation theory has remained unchanged and proven unbeatable for over 2,000 years. So I said in an earlier video that you create yourself when you set your own goals and work to reach them. Then you become a person with free will who can be held responsible for your choices. So most people want to be the boss of their own life, and we also want society to consist of autonomous people who can be held responsible for their choices and actions. So there are two important reasons then to be able to do critical thinking, both that you become able to achieve good goals and that you simultaneously create yourself through that process. And both of these reasons are good reasons why not too much of your own thinking should be outsourced to AI. So you must be the cause of your choices and not AI. AI can improve your choices, but should not make your choices. AI can improve your work, but it should not replace your work. So what's the difference then? When does AI go from improving to replacing? The distinction is whether you are the cause of your choices or AI. And when is that? When are you the cause and not AI? The distinction is then that you must be the one driving the process, whereas AI can give input, but it must not be AI that drives the process while you give input, because then AI becomes the cause, and not you. More concretely, you should think out, what do I think about this question? You should make an outline, sort of think through your main ideas, and you should be the one writing full text. But AI can give input, suggest changes, additions, etc., but it must not lead the process or be the one that makes the first drafts and structure, etc., and it should not do the main part of the work. This may sound a bit fuzzy, and it is a bit fuzzy, because when we talk about causes of things, there are always many things simultaneously influencing what happens. But at the same time, we do have quite good intuitions about who caused what. If you write the text using AI, you can imagine AI being another person and ask yourself, who would have deserved the most credit for this text turning out the way it did, me or AI? I think many people then have a good intuition about whether they themselves were the main cause, or the other person writing text, or AI writing the text. Not everyone has a good intuition, because some people, they just take credit for what others do. So it does require some self-insight to use such intuition. And that's why I also give very concrete advice and answers in this video and following. And the main thing is then to be the cause by being the one who is leading first this process, making the first choices and moves. That may sound a bit strange, but it's helpful and instructive to read the research of Daniel Kahneman, who gives a lot of examples of how, in various discussions, etc., trying to find answers, your brain will be irrationally locked if there's something else that gets to set the terms first. So many funny examples of that. For instance, teachers putting grades or giving grades, or judges making sentences for how long people should be in prison. If they have to roll dice first, then the higher the number on the dice, the better the grades or the longer the sentences. Or if people are going to guess how many countries in Africa are a member of the United Nations and they have to spin a wheel of fortune, if it's a high number or a low number, that will strongly influence how many countries they believe are member of the United Nations. And a lot of other examples showing that being who gets to sort of set the premises first is very important, and that's why it's important that you think through first. What do I think about this? What do I believe about this question? That you structure an outline when you make a text, etc., instead of letting AI do that part first and decide the premises. It's completely unproblematic if AI makes you change your mind completely. If you start and AI says something and you think, that's smart, I completely changed my mind, that's no problem. You're still the cause. So you don't become less free by being influenced by AI than all the other things you be influenced by. But the key distinction then is whether you are actively steering the process or whether you've just handed that over to AI. Because if you evaluate input and change your mind, then you are still the one steering the process. But if you just adopt a view without thinking for yourself, then AI is steering the process. And I think this matches well the experience we had from before AI as well. It's all good and fine to have help from others when you're doing a project, as long as you're driving it forward. But it's not fine just to have others lead the process for you.